Get in, nerds. We are playing Victoria 3. So, our current... Oh, boy, there's a bunch of things happening. Don't want to deal with Kathiri. Don't want to deal with Hawaii right now. And this is me, Fascist Honduras. I've got the Army of East Africa going to deal with it, so that should be fine. So, my current primary national... Oh, boy. Oh, boy! Sorry. What I'm trying to say, before I get into all this, is my current national projects are, 1, I'm trying to pass wage subsidies. Shouldn't be a problem, I'm almost there. 2, trying to deal with the pandemic. 3, trying to get my national debt under control. And then 4, I'm trying to make sure that I don't lose control of my subjects who are all very salty, especially Egypt, who will be less salty soon. Am I supporting sorry, not Egypt. I don't know why I said Egypt. Greece, especially Greece, will be less salty soon, but for now, very much desires independence. This modifier is going to go away, but it's going to take some time. Let me see if it shows up in my... No, it doesn't look like it. Oh, the Suez Purchase is going to go away soon. That's going to help my financial situation. So that's what we're currently working on this episode. Alright, we got the Anti-Mask League. Julio Cabral has formed the Anti-Mask League in opposition to our pandemic measures. They dispute the effectiveness of our policies and demand that we revoke them for the sake of the struggling economy. Wear a mask can save your life. The emergency that now confronts our country is beyond the facilities of the health department. Those who do not wear them get sick. The man or woman or child who will not wear a mask now is a dangerous slacker. Ignore the league, industrialists unhappy. Or abandon the anti-plague measures. No, I'm gonna... Which makes the industrialists happy. I can deal with the industrialists being a little unhappier for the moment. But I gotta keep subsequent waves from happening. British Republic is going after the Chokwe people. I'm gonna ignore that. So I'm currently building up all this electricity infrastructure in Estremadura to ensure that we have enough power for our electrics industries to function, because I need them to produce the amount of telephones that I need for my government buildings in order for those government buildings to be able to provide the bureaucratic capacity that I need to do all the things I want to do. So 6 levels should be enough for now. Oh boy, I got a real frog in my throat this time, friends. Schleswig. The Schleswigians are doing fine without Portuguese help. There's a war with Fascist Honduras popping off. I think we're definitely going to win it. Feeling extremely confident in our abilities overall. This force comparison is rock solid. And sure enough, this battle is a definite success. Ooh, Polish mass immigration. Excellent. I feel like I had poor huddled masses already, but that is what it is. You hit procs every time or something? I'm not sure. Hey, and there's wage subsidies, so that makes the government a little more legitimate. How legitimate would I be with high taxes? 94! That's pretty rock solid. Let me see. Fascist Senegal. I can't join the fascist side because I have a truce with them until 22. So I can just completely ignore this. Nothing to be done there. Still improving relations with France. I'm making good progress with that, and with Canada as well. The British flu spreads. Where's it going now? Rio Grande do Sul. Okay, when will this plague end? So that's really unfortunate, but it is what it is. Happily, I got to it fast enough that I didn't need to hear the guy screaming, so that's fun. Interestingly, it seems like Russia has bailed out of this war, leaving, the French are still in it. But it seems as though Russia has exited the scene, which is interesting, because it looks like most of the sort of success was on the Russian end. The French are pushing forward, though. Relations are good with the North German Federation. Relations are getting... Oh, come on. Stop spreading. Luso-Brazilian Sinai. Oh, that's really bad. Am I getting my 50,000 pounds yet? I'm not. Gosh darn it. Oh boy, alright. We got a few events here. A Foreign Manifesto. The recently translated works of Muhammad Jamalulail have become popular within the movement to enact mass conscription. The relationship has developed to the point of Muhammad Jamalulail openly endorsing the movement. And for a whole large class, there is no other road, especially for a nation so eminently practical as the Luso-Brazilian one. The great thing is to get the working class to move as a class, that once obtained, they will soon find the right direction, and all who resist will be left out in the cold with small sects of their own. So this mass conscription movement is already pretty strong. I can go with our struggles international one to make it stronger, or I can go with foreign interference ought to be punished, which will make the trade unions very upset, which is fine with me, and increase the radicalism, reduce the strength. I'm going to go with the second one. I don't want this movement to get stronger. Next, we have a defamatory article about the Shona people in the Alentejo Tribune. We can suppress the article and we can let it be released. He threw the tabloid across the table with a huff. Absolutely vile lies, the lot of it. Alas, that won't matter to those who read it. They'll gobble it right up. He eyed the shocked maid's face, then righted himself. Of course, they'd believe it. He hadn't given them proof to the contrary. Suppressing it reduces my authority by 5%, which is going to be about 50. Or I can ignore it and reduce the standard of living for Shona people in Alentejo. I'm going to ignore it. One standard of living is not that much. Unless the plague arrives, in which case it's going to be a real problem. And finally, we have lobbyist lectures in Lisbon. They're listing lazily to the left. Got a nice alliteration there. A man employed by a powerful member of the Anti-Russian Association is delivering lectures and pamphlets addressed to targeted constituencies in Lisbon. One lawmaker writes a fellow politician, "Each day he finds me. I know not how. I'm quite disturbed. What are his aims? That hired emissary of the Anti-Russian Association haunts the doors of the Luso-Brazilian Assembly, much like the ghost of the murdered Banquo. Make it clear lobbies are responsible for the emissaries they hire, extra legitimacy, weaker Catholic Church, or any concerns about the emissary's behavior are unfounded, stronger Catholic Church." Catholic Church is already really strong, and 5 more legitimacy will be nice. So this will give me a lot of ticking loyalists per month, and that'll be really good. I'm really happy about that. Scramble for Africa event is... I've never played a game in which this is fully procced. We are still colonizing all these areas. We should be able to connect up soon. I'm hoping we can outrun the British over here. Because if we do, or the Cape Colonials really, because if we do, then all of Tsawana is ours unless they start colonizing over here. But I think it shouldn't be an issue. Alright, we finished with our power plants in Estremadura. So, how are the power plants doing? The power plants are fully employed. They're producing 876 power. The electrics industries are now hiring once again. Alright, so that's beautiful. And that's providing us with a ton more bureaucracy. Exile from Aotearoa. Can't hire. Predicts it would reduce its productivity, but it won't because power is cheap. Lead is still quite expensive for this building, as is iron, which is a little unfortunate. Please do produce more. Is the issue that the radios are not selling? Because the phones are definitely selling. Radios are cheap, but not that cheap. Let's see what we can export. Nobody wants radios. Gosh darn it. Alright, so what else can we do to help the market along? We need more engines, obviously, and more steel and more lead. Where do we have lead and lead mining capacity? Ones in Zambia are not properly hiring. What if we filled out the rest of the Shan... I feel like we've built up all of the Shan states mines already a number of times. Am I buck wild here? Have I not done this more than once already? I feel as though I have. In any case, these mines produce 1.26k lead. And they'll produce a bunch more. Now, Shan states have sufficiency of infrastructure. They mostly do. Let's go ahead. Railway. Yeah, railway could use an upgrade. Alright, so we'll build up a railway. I'll kick that up to the top so that it gets done first. And then we'll start finishing out the lead mines here. That should provide a sufficiency of infrastructure for what we need. And then, finally, we'll stop... Well, we'll cut taxes. Don't want to invest in you, Sulu. Mr. Sulu, stop seeking investments from the Portuguese. Alright, we are almost at 25.8. That's going to bring... once we get below 25, that's going to bring down Liberty Desire gain for all of our subjects. The British fleet spreads to Mato Grosso. Don't love it. So how are things going in the rest of the Empire? South Angola is a little short on infrastructure. Definitely need a railway built there. East Angola is doing okay. We got lead available in East Angola, so we could build up there as well. Let's build a railway just to make sure that we've got the necessary infrastructure. It's not going to take us over, but it'll be... It's useful. Anyway, I'm checking on the plague. Alright, so, plague is doing mostly fine, actually. Plague is mostly clear in Africa. Now, Galicia... Oh, Galicia is clear. Excellent. Wonderful. Alright, so that's going well. Slovene mass immigration. Excellent. From Austria-Hungary. Oil discovered in the West Indies. Germany does appear to be losing its war against the French. They want to cut the North German Federation down to size. You're a little infamous, but not that infamous. I'm hoping that lead is going to help these electrics industries continue to hire until they're profitable, whilst also continuing to bring down the price of radios. I suspect we're going to be able to sell a lot of radios abroad, eventually. Nope, that's making it even worse. Unbelievable. Where's the plague going now? Sao Paulo. Okay, alright, so it's ripping its way through Brazil. How's incorporation going for these areas? Rio de Janeiro is at about 40%. So others, Bahia and Pernambuco, are a little bit less so. Pernambuco definitely needs some more railways. Let's plop one down in there. And there may be some more aggression as the 20s go on, but for now I want to get down to 0 infamy so that I can keep my... Get a lid on my vassals. Because that's a very important thing for me. British fleet spreads. This time to where? To Bahia. It's doing a lot of damage in Brazil. I managed to stop it in its tracks in Galicia before it could affect the rest of the core. I think it affected Beira, but Extremadura and Alentejo were spared. Alentejo is short on infrastructure, which is not a thing I'm happy about. I'll go ahead and tick that up. Throw those in at the top of the queue as well. Still building those mines in the Shan states, and that's what we want. Maybe they keep discovering more lead. Maybe that's what's happening. Let me see. The children want propertied women. I have discovered feminism. So, but the only one I can get is propertied women. Let me see. Who supports women in the workforce? That's intelligentsia and the industrialists and the trade unions, whereas women's suffrage is the self-same group of people. The Catholic Church will be upset if I go to propertied women, but I think it's time. The people want it. Let's do it. This is going to be tough. Actually, maybe not. It's a very strong movement over here. Improving women's rights is important. Alright, so we are down to reputable. Don't want to invest in Maya. Oh, interesting. When did this happen? Pretty sure I took that space and gave it to Guatemala, but apparently they're not holding it so well. That's okay. And perhaps I'll take them over again. Alright, looks like the war is finished. Looks like North German Federation was not able to unite with Bavaria. Oh my goodness, look at this. Spain is having a massive civil war. Well, that's unfortunate. I'll definitely have to see what I can get out of them. I mean, I'll definitely have to come to the aid of the legitimate government of Spain. Just gonna pause as soon as we tick over here. Alright, so a lot of people are gonna lean towards the government. What can I get if I transfer states? Ooh. South Cameroon. Oh, again, that's just Fernando Po. Right? Yeah. I don't want Fernando Po. I could get piles of cash, that would be nice. Obligations. I can't get transfer of any subjects, which is a shame. But I could get a bankroll. Let me see, my MISC... I can probably stop supporting sulfur mines. So my missed costs for purchasing the Suez Canal zone are over. I still need to figure out how to get the Suez Canal Company profitable. But for now, I think getting the cash is the right call. If I get the cash, is anyone likely to support the other side? Bengal might flip over. I could always not get involved. None of these forces is ideal. Also, what's this war about before I side with one side or the other? What's this whole situation about? It's about universal suffrage. The fascists want to go to universal suffrage. They are agrarian with tenant farmers. Or no, that's the other side. The government is agrarian with tenant farmers. The fascists are laissez-faire commercialized agriculture. Interesting. Where Spain's going? I mean, I think universal suffrage is just fine. It's not as if it's communism anyway. This might be a mistake, but I'm gonna do it. All right. So, we'll get the lads together, and then we'll send them to the front. And we'll bring in the army of South America as well. So what's the alignment like now? All right, no one who was potentially going to align against us with us is likely to align against us. All right, Russia's on our side. Oh no, Russia bailed, but Japan is with us. New Grenada is with us. Germany is on the other side. Interesting. Great Qing is with us. All right. Well, this is a proper World War I right here. Hell on Earth event. The perpetrators will pay for their crimes. And the British flu spreads, this time to Maranhão. When will this play again? Alright, so the government is still sort of the most well supported. Italy. So, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, Italy. There's an but I had a protectorate. Are you my protectorate? Why not? Very interesting. So this is curious. I don't know how... I don't know how much I like the way that goes down. Because again, we're in this goofy situation where a certain number of people... We're in this situation where we've got this protectorate in the middle of Italy, and they've just sort of bailed to join another country. Alright, so Germany's armies are getting in here. I am going to get myself a nice pile of cash. Law progressed to drafting. Wonderful. Is it the right call for me to start raising my conscripts? It's going to be a lot of conscripts. I think it's worth it. Actually, it might not be. Now that I'm thinking about it. We got the Italians on the other side. You sure you can't bring in anyone else? Is China sending armies? China is sending some forces. And we got some units coming over from New Granada. Electric railways. Zulu secession. Alright, where is that happening? Zululand. Alright. Well, I suppose that does make sense. Alright, so I'm going to station these units in the South Africa HQ. This is the Army of East Africa right now. British fleet spreads to Minas Gerais. That's unfortunate. And then they'll be able to deal with this when the time comes. You know what? I am going to raise the conscripts. I think that's the most sensible way to deal with this. Marina Real Portuguesa can go to the Bay of Biscay to lock that down so that I don't get invaded. Now, I just unlocked electric railway. That is also going to unlock electric engines for my motor industries. The biggest ones are in Extremadura, so that's going to add 30 levels of engine demand per of electricity demand per level of motor industries. I'm going to have 15. We'll round it up to 16. So that's 8 times 60, which is 480. We're going to need 8 levels. One's being built by the private sector already, but on the other hand, that was already needed, so we'll build another one. I am going to queue all of these up to the top. I'll put the railways in at the top, and then once that's done, we'll swap over to the new production method. British fleet spreads to Pernambuco, not great, but it is what it is. Can we get... I could do some sort of chicanery where I sneak in and squanch Italy. What's Italy's? It's Piedmont, right? That's where their capital generally is? No, not Piedmont. Is it in Rome? Who formed it? It was the... Was it the Two Sicilies? I think it was. So Campania is the capital. What kind of a force have we got here? Line and skirmish infantry and mobile artillery? I could potentially land there and just knock them right out of the war. Which might be the right call. But I take the Ejército Portugués and just throw them right in. Yeah, I think that is what I'm going to do. That seems like the right way to handle this situation. I might be able to do the same for Germany. I doubt it, but it's possible. The enemy's got a big fleet here, but I don't know if that's... I don't know how much that's going to actually affect things. Hey, we finished colonizing East Angola. Excellent. And we got connected up here. Alright, so that's the rose-colored map basically finished. British fleet spreads to Gera. It is what it is. And we have political imprisonment, a stall event. Samuel Bolcau and his supporters have publicly petitioned at a prison in Extremadura for the release of pro-property women protesters held there on charges of disorderly conduct. The prisoner sat in his lightless cell, staring listlessly at the wall. The voices were beginning to carve through his mind again, repeating his name over and over again, giving voice to his torment. He closed his eyes and covered his ears, bidding it to stop. Only when blissful silence finally fell over him did he realize the chants were not coming from within his head at all. His imprisonment has already achieved its goals. Stronger movement, 10% enactment chance. Or justice will not be overturned by the dictate of a mob. He becomes less popular. Trade union pops become more loyal. Rural folk pops become more radical. I'm going to go with the first one. Enactment chance is good. I'm happy to have that. Alright, so I'm going to pull. First, I'm going to set my armies to defense. Next, I'm going to throw... Or no. You're going to defend. You're going to attack. Because... Oh, you're already in a battle. I can't move you. You're all... Wait. What if I go... Here, and then... No. Okay. Alright. In a second. Once this battle's done, and they're not in battle anymore... Ooh, the Germans are winning over here. And we're on defense. Oh, that's brutal. That's so very brutal. Oh, we're getting beat real bad here. We're getting beat real bad. And they're sending more forces as well. Ugh. Oh, this one's... Oh, but we're winning this one. We're winning this one, despite the fact that they got way more battalions in here. Alright, event. The most dangerous game. Event in West Indies. Returning from a safari expedition, Alexander Rangal was marooned on a small island in the West Indies. There he was hunted like an animal by the French aristocrat Eliezer de Cambaceres. Ceres. Splendid. One of us is to furnish a repast for the hounds. The other will sleep in this very excellent bed. On guard, Alexandre. Barbaric. Oh, that's not great. Because this deteriorates relations with the French Empire, and that's not something I'm trying to do. Why do relations keep going down? Is that because they keep getting up to stuff? Ringal dies, so... I don't remember who he was. Well, that's bananas. Spain is in default. Wow, I sure picked the wrong side on this. Anyone have a war goal against me? Can I just bail? Yeah, no, nobody does. I mean, that is what it is, I suppose. Let me see. French Empire is going after Sokoto to conquer a bunch of territory. That's going to make them infamous as heck. A rational discussion. While meeting to discuss ideas, Giulio Bezzi and David Rebello enjoyed a civil and enlightening conversation. Most expected a brawl. Some say opposites attract, others say opposites repulse. A few understand that one of the natures of opposites is change. Fire and water to steam, spark and gunpowder to explosion, heat and ore to metal. And so it is with a good faith debate, a leap in thought to form fresh ideas. Liberal civility is the way forward, 20% momentum for the progressives. Giulio Bezzi's conduct ought to be commended, he becomes honorable. Or even the opposition should be heard, 20% momentum for the socialists. Interesting. Let's take a look at the election breakdown. No one's got the momentum that the Catholic Center does. Progressives are not a bad party to have stronger. Let's give them a little extra momentum. Let me see. Have we had a breakup in the party structure yet? A little bit of one. I've lost a bunch of legitimacy. Let's go ahead and drop taxes back down to Midland. That's going to make my government much more legitimate, and I'm very excited about that. It's also going to increase standard of living, which was going down significantly due to the high taxation. And now the British flew a spring to Rio Grande do Norte. Alright, well, it is what it is. I think I can go a little longer. There's the Zulu secession, not a big deal. We'll just go ahead and put this army right on there. The United States wants a trade agreement. You know what? Absolutely. I would love to trade with you, the United States. I'd love for us to be better friends, in fact. I'm winning in the ocean over here. Uh-oh. We had a death and one of my armies is low on ore. Army of East Africa. Oh no. Alright, let's put this industrialist guy in charge. He seems fine. Let's hope they can regain the necessary organization before the country is plunged into war. I'm going to declare neutrality on this thing happening in Africa. I don't think it's, I got more going. North German Federation, how could you do this to me? North German Federation, why would you damage our relations like this when we've become such good friends already? Law progressed to voting, wonderful. Alright, so this war is a little bit of a slog. Let's take a look at how things are going. On our side, we've suffered 60,000 casualties. 60,000 dead and 120,000 wounded, which is not great. We've dealt more damage to the other side, particularly to Germany. Spain continues to be in default. What would happen if I took on Spain's debt? 260k? Yeah, okay. Sure, that's nothing. Alright, now they owe me an obligation. Excellent. This will matter if they don't lose the war. Oh my goodness, we have a bunch of events. One of them disappeared and I didn't even see it. Let's take a quick... Don't need to deal with these events. Bahrain, not my business. Alright, Fluvial Bantu secession. That's not great. Where is that happening? Bakongo. Here. Alright, so that shouldn't be too big of an issue. A Fluvial Bantu politician with secessionist sympathies has risen to prominence in the intelligentsia. Have you heard who spoke at the last rally? Do you think the opposition gives credence to Fluvial Bantu propaganda now? The sitting government would never host a speaker like that, which incidentally was the exact argument made in the speech itself. A Fluvial Bantu political leader? Unthinkable. 10% of Fluvial Bantu pops become more radical, or anyone can make it in the United Kingdom, a character appears. Let's have ourselves a character. Movement to Enact No Colonial Affairs organizes in Beira. Organizers affiliated with the Movement to Enact No Colonial Affairs have embarked on a focused campaign to inspire support for no colonial affairs in Beira. Residents of every region in the world like to say that their home has a long and unique history of tight-knit community. The organizer almost agreed. The problem was, of course, that the said community did not often extend to outsiders. He'd been thrown out on his ear more times than he could count, but he persisted nonetheless. If he could introduce the right phrase into the right circles, perhaps even an idea that had been rejected out of hand at first would begin to find purchase. Plenty of willing ears in Beira, stronger movement, increased political strength, increased radicals from standard of living decreases, or, let's consider with more grounded things, no extra movement support, half of that. I'm going to go with the second one. Don't particularly need that. Alright. Commander commends Civic Coalition. General de Queiroz has made public statements in support of the Regenerator Party, bringing into question the political neutrality of the military. He's lined up with the Army of South America. It is my duty to defend the nation and its interests. Politics is as much a part of war as battles and logistics are. I don't see the problem with doing my duty and doing my part to make sure those who are best fit to protect the nation end up being the ones in charge of it. He can say what he wants, 20% momentum for the Regenerators. Reprimand him, good soldiers don't give orders, they take them, to 5% of officer pops in the UK become more radical, or, if he likes politics so much, he ought to get more involved. He becomes a politician. So, Rafael de Queiroz is a positivist. I don't particularly want him in politics. Extra momentum for the Regenerators is just fine for me in the current build of the game. Alright, let's go ahead with that. Spain is the default again. I don't know what's going on with Spain's... So, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. They invaded Brazil. Oh gosh, that's a problem. I got some allies stopping them, but they're not stopping them very well. Well, this is bad. I think I'm gonna get pushed out of this war, but that's okay. These things happen. These things are known to happen. Wow, we are losing bad, though, to be completely honest. Communist uprising in Norway, not going to get involved with that. Finances are doing a lot better. We've nearly finished out... Oh, actually, I finished out most of those power plants, so let's go ahead and flip the motor industries over to using electric engines. So that'll output us a bunch more... Where are they? a bunch more motors, and that'll be nice. Democratic solidarity. In a pro-suffrage gesture, Giulio Bezzi has released a positive endorsement of the Portuguese Catholic Centre for its stalwart support of voting rights in the United Kingdom. There is no issue in our constitutional monarchy greater than that of the franchise, the method through which the people may decide any future issue which comes their way. With this in mind, my endorsement should come to no surprise. The Portuguese Catholic Centre is the guardian of Luso-Brazilian franchise, extra momentum, or perhaps some party members more than others, stronger Catholic Church. I'm just going to go with the extra momentum. I think that's just fine. So, how does that affect the price of engines? It affects it significantly, which is very good. Colonization of Herrero land is completed, so now it's just Tiswana, and then we'll be good to go. Alright. We're actually over time. We'll see what happens at the end of the war, but I think you can all see how things are going. But we'll deal with that next time. For now, I've had fun. I hope you all have had fun, and I'll see you on the other side.